right. Welcome, welcome. How are we doing, Michael? Good morning. Or
Very
actually, good
good. Good
afternoon now.
morning. How are you, Tim? Good to
Uh,
see you.
Doing well. Thank you for joining me. This is, I think it's one of my first interviews for the new year. So thanks for helping me kick this off. And of course,
Excited.
full disclosure, I am now with Grand Lux Realty. Very excited. And so obviously, my first interview should be with you, my new principal broker. I'm an associate broker with the firm. And so I would love to get into how you started Grand Lux Realty and what got you going. I know you're a Westchester, you were born in California, but you're a Westchester native, so you've been around quite a while.
Yep. Raised in Larchmont, and I've been living in Armonk for years, and happy to be trying to grow Grand Lux Realty, and we're getting there. Now we have 6 offices: Chappaqua, Ardsley, Mamaroneck, Somers, Stony Point in Rockland County, and Goshen in Orange County. About 235 agents, so we're definitely growing. Um, Last year we had a decent year, not quite as good as 22. 22 was our best year with almost $100 million sold in gross volume. And so that was pretty good for us. We're one of the top brokerages in our board of realtors, ranked in the top 5%. So we're getting there. We're growing. It's like a little, David versus Goliath going up against these big boys. But it's all right. You got to have a real entrepreneurial attitude and a good strategy. And I'm constantly trying to come up with for our agents so we can succeed.
I think you froze up a little bit on me there. Did I freeze for you? I think you did. Let's see if we can bring him back in and see what happens. Nope. Well, let's see if he can jump back in. I'll let him back up on stage. But yes, Michael's been the principal broker for Grand Lux Realty. He was born in California, but grew up in Larchmont in Westchester, graduated Mamaroneck High School, and then went to Clemson University. And from there, NYU School of Continuing Education, receiving diplomas in real estate, investment analysis, and building and construction management. Let me see if he's coming back in and join us. He was working at Helmsley-Spear before starting his own agency. Here we go. You're back, Michael.
Hey.
All right.
I don't know what happened there.
It happens from time to time. I was just reading a little bit of your bio here, how you grew up in Larchmont and then went to NYU and was working in building management. I was getting to the Helmsley-Spear and commercial stuff that you've done before. You want to tell us a little bit about that experience and how that shaped you into your real estate career?
Sure. So when I graduated college, I majored in textile machinery at Clemson in South Carolina. Couldn't get a job in textiles after I graduated. The market was really bad for the textile industry. And so after a while, I was able to get a job at Helmsley-Spear in Manhattan, leasing office space for Harry and Leona Helmsley. Then decided after a few years that I liked construction better. So I went to night school at NYU and got a diploma in building construction management. That enabled me to get a job at Lehrer McGover, one of the biggest construction management companies in Manhattan. I was on a project to build, actually we built 2 high-rise office buildings in Manhattan. I was a field super and a project manager. And then I moved to California. We bought a hotel in our family and I managed the hotel and then tore it down. After a few years, it was located in the parking lot of a shopping center. So it was kind of a weird location for a hotel. Tore it down, built a 15,000 square foot strip center, leased it up and sold it. Then moved to Boulder. In Boulder, I joined Keller-Williams. And when I came back from Boulder back to Westchester, it was my intention to try to buy the region from Keller-Williams. This is before Keller-Williams was around here. I knew it would be big. and they are big, they're huge, obviously. And I tried to buy the region to develop and sell Keller-Williams franchises. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough experience to be accepted into this program by them, but that's okay. I learned a lot. And what I learned enabled me then to open Grand Lux Realty, and we opened in 2006 in our basement, just my wife and I, starting to get listings and recruiting agents. We moved into an office building and then a retail location, and then started opening more offices. And now we're here where we are. So it's all part of the trajectory.
Excellent. Again, I see that from the website, you have all these locations, but you are licensed in New York and in Connecticut. How much, and we're streaming into the Greenwich Live site as well. How much business do you do? I'm sure you refer a lot into Connecticut from New York. How much business do you close, and what percentage of that is in Greenwich and or the Connecticut area?
Right. So we don't have an office in Connecticut. I would like to open one. I'm looking for an opportunity for that. We have a few agents licensed in Connecticut, and we have a few agents licensed only in Connecticut, and we have about 20 agents licensed in both New York and Connecticut. And I think last year we sold something like $15 million in Connecticut. So maybe around 15% or a little bit more in Connecticut. And we belong to Smart MLS and Greenwich MLS, and Key MLS for the Lower Hudson Valley in New York.
Excellent.
So for sure, Connecticut is a place I'm trying to expand into and to create those kind of relationships there.
And then you also do some unique co-branding with other offices and other brokers. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So as we're trying to grow, there are many ways that you can grow in a residential brokerage style with other brokers and trying to team up with other brokers. So we have a lot of ideas, and we're looking for other independent brokers to team up with. There are ways to do this. It is kind of complicated. We're very flexible on the style. You can do co-branding where the other broker stays independent, but is kind of co-branded with us, like XYZ Realty, a Grand Lux Realty company, where we help them grow and recruit agents for them and provide our leads to them and so on, and training, of course. And we can form a new company and restart, kind of reboot. We can create a branch office of one of our other offices. Or something else. So there's a lot of different styles that we can do this with, and of course, there's no hard sell or persuasion or trying to sell. It's not like we're trying to sell you cars here or something like that. We're just trying to grow and create a model that works for all the parties in a fair and friendly and communicative and generous style, so that we can grow better together than apart. And so that's really what we're trying to do. And I probably have, 10 or 20 other brokers that are thinking about it, that we're busy speaking to and trying to collaborate and create a model that will work for both parties. I have no doubt that some of these will work out.
Yeah, absolutely. I was that's definitely part of the reason why I was attracted to your office model. The flexibility and the approachability of yourself and the team, everybody there. I did make it to the holiday party, which was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot
Super
of people,
fun.
And it was
Shout
great.
out to the Beehive restaurant in Armonk. We love the Beehive.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful place, and just a very exciting event. Everybody was excited to be there, and I think you had almost half the team was able to attend, which was great. And but going back to the fact that you are very open and welcoming and open to ideas about how to expand the Grand Lux Realty brand, and flexible and open to other ideas about that. So I that's what drew me to the opportunity. So very excited about that. And then of course I'm obviously running the video portion of this right here. I want to encourage all the agents that you do have and anyone that might be considering that, I'll do everything I can to help everyone in their video production and or promotion of their listings using video. So very excited about that as well. And I know you are, because that's why you're here with me today, trying to
Yep.
push this open.
Yeah.
Given all that, what do you see happening this spring compared to last spring, or maybe the last normal market in 2019?
Right. So, it's been a tough market with higher interest rates, and coming out of that time where we had very low interest rates, a lot of people refinanced and don't want to sell and end up in a house with higher interest rates. And so it's been very, very low inventory. And of course, we like high transaction count. We want to see a lot of turnover. And right now, there's just very low turnover and very low inventory, which makes it challenging for buyers. It's hard to find a good house. And then when you find one, you can sometimes have competition with other buyers bidding up the same house. So what ends up happening is that it becomes a little bit more challenging in this business. But I can see that as soon as January 1 hit of 2024, we had a little jump. And all of a sudden, there's more buyers coming out, there's more sellers coming out, listings are increasing a little bit. We're having listing appointments, we're having buyers reaching out to us. It was incredible. As soon as New Year's finished, I noticed a jump. And I am also noticing the interest rates are starting to creep down. I don't know that they'll be down as low as we would like them to be in 24, but they're definitely, by the end of 24, I think the interest rates are going to be lower than they are now. And then by the end of 25, I think we'll be in a really good position with interest rates. And you'll see in 2025, the market really start to pick up. And what happens when there's low inventory and still pretty strong demand is that prices are starting to go up. And we are seeing that. So for sellers who've been sitting on the sideline for years or decades, you may be surprised to see how much your house is actually worth. And we kind of specialize here at Grand Lux Realty, and a lot of the training that I do for our agents is designed to really help sellers figure out the nitty details of their house and what they can do to maximize, I call it, their buyer perceived value. Because after all, these houses really only sell for what a buyer's willing to pay for it. The value range of a house can vary widely depending on the details and all the things that buyers use when they compare houses with each other. So frequently, the things that sellers do based on our advice to them can significantly affect the value and what a buyer's willing to pay for that house. And those things are critically important. I always recommend to sellers, do not call me the day before you want to come on the market. Let's start talking 6 months ahead of time so that I can help you stage your house, fix your house, get it ready. Because after all, my goal is I want to get you the most for your house. And if we do some things right, it can be very, very cheap. It doesn't have to be expensive. I'm not talking about like make a big addition or anything like that. I'm just talking about little minor tweaks, because it's all in the details that these buyers are looking at. And sellers can significantly affect their price. And so that's really important. And that's a big thing that we do here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's never too soon to reach out to your preferred real estate professional. And I always encourage, especially looking at people's photographs and or videos that they do, when they say, oh, I'll wait till the spring market, that happens to be January when they want to pull the trigger, and you're looking at photos that, are less than, desirable, with a little bit of brown grass or patches of snow or whatever it is. If you had planned this out, maybe taken the nice fall foliage or even planned the year before with all the greens and some flowers in place out front. Your curb appeal is very important, especially on the first photograph that somebody's going to see. It makes a big difference.
And I always recommend to take professional photos when on a crystal blue sky day with golden sunlight on the facade of the building, so that it really shows well, because so many buyers, when they look at pictures on the MLS, They just look at the first picture and then they say no, and they look at the first picture, no, they look at the first picture again, no. They just go through these houses based on the first picture and weed them out too quickly. So the professional photos are really important, and the weather when you take the photo is really important. Don't rush.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference. And in this market, when there's such competition, you might not think it does, but it absolutely does. I know that Chappaqua, the average house was selling for 108% of listing price, just
Oh yeah.
because there's so much demand, and you want to attract as many people as possible. And you know that a lot of people are on their phones just scrolling through and swiping right or whatever it is. You want to make a great impression so that you get the maximum exposure you can. So you don't want
Yeah.
that left to chance, because we know that houses that need more work than most get overlooked immediately. A lot of people want stuff that is done, ready to go, and ready to move in. So the more you can make that impression, first off by your pictures or a video or just driving by, the curb appeal is very important. So a
Yes.
very important thing to start early, start your journey early. I mean, this is the biggest investment of your life. So it's not something like, oh, we're just going to put up a sign in front yard and see what happens. So it's very important to be prepared and to, consult with a professional and put your best foot forward. Yeah.
And this is really the time now to start thinking about it. If you plan to sell this year, you really need to get going now. It's time, not that I'm trying to, rush anybody or put pressure or anything like that, but you want to be ready to come on the market. If you're going to come on soon, the best time, especially in these, better school district towns, you want to come on the market right around when the flowers start blooming. As soon as spring hits and the forsythias start blooming is your time to come on the market. So you can be on the market for, April, May, June, find your buyer in June, July, August, so they can be in time for school to start.
Well, I was reading some of the stats in for Chappaqua, and the average house I think was on for less than 30 days before they had an accepted offer. It happens very quickly. So
It does happen.
the other thing is you have to be prepared to move. I have clients and sellers that just say, I don't know where I'm going to go, because I know that my house will show well and sell, but I don't know where to go. And that's the predicament in this kind of market, because you'll turn around and get an offer in 30 days and they go, okay, we can close in 60. And then they have to start their search and pull the trigger just as fast on the other end. So it can be very nerve-wracking and stressful, and you have to think about that. But, that's why you need to prepare and price your house accordingly. And
you don't always have to jump in and buy something right away of your, in terms of your replacement property. Maybe it's okay to go into an Airbnb for a month or two, or do a short-term lease, or even, put your stuff in storage and move into a, Embassy Suites hotel for a month or two, just while you're trying to figure out where to go. Because you don't want to be either, a super motivated buyer where you go and I got to buy a house immediately and I've got to get into a bidding war so that I can outbid everybody so I can buy this house, right? You're better off to be able to take your time and search around and find the right place and be able to try to negotiate a little bit so that you can, get a good price if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. So I know you noticed the uptick, and you're thinking that rates will normalize for mortgage rates. I think that's probably true coming into an election year. They probably try and make it a little more enticing to make people feel comfortable, because this interest rate period and the market has been so strong for so long, after everyone was trapped inside for 2020, and now let's say interest rate locked inside, because they don't know if they can afford to move yet. But I think that will ease. Everything fluctuates in this market, obviously. So with that stuff going up in the last couple of years, we can see some flexibility. Obviously, no one thinks that the market is going to crash and rebound and come down 10 or 20%. There's no, just the amount of inventory is just not there at all. It would take so much inventory for people to move to make the prices drop. I don't see any dropping coming anytime soon. I'm sure that you
No, I
share
don't
that.
either.
Yeah, it's just it's a
I don't either. I think the market is going to stay strong here, and it's going to continue. I hope that as spring progresses, the inventory will pick up a little bit. I believe it will. I think right now in Armonk, there's only 8 houses on the market, which seems
yeah.
crazy to me. But
Yeah,
I
it
know
does.
of a number of sellers that are getting ready to come on the market soon. So
Right.
it's gonna pick up now a little bit.
Yeah, the spring will definitely be a strong seller's market with a tight inventory flux, and hopefully we get a little bit of relief or sensibility in these interest rates that we'll be working with, so that people can feel comfortable with what they have to do. But moving forward, I think everyone's going to realize that this is the state of the market until something, it has to be drastic, happens in the marketplace, which would take a lot.
We have a number of mortgage broker relationships, and you always, if you're a buyer, you always want to shop it around. Always go to at least 3 mortgage brokers. Maybe go to your bank where you bank as well. Sometimes these mortgage brokers can have differences in points or interest rates that could vary a little bit. Maybe not significantly, but certainly enough to make it worth your while to speak to a number of different people. And I've probably got 30 of them in my Rolodex, and I can always recommend 3 or 5 at any time to any prospective buyers out there. So just feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to give you some names off my Rolodex.
And then, of course, it's always good, and it should be the very first person you talk to is your mortgage person, so that you know where you're going and what you're getting into, but also to get not just a pre-qualification letter, but fully vetted out, so that when you make an offer, it can be a very strong offer. Because we do hear a lot about people who are offering all cash because they have sold their house and they're living in the embassy suites, like you said, with the cash from a previous sale. So that's a heavy competitor to go up against. So your mortgage professional would be one of your first friends when you're thinking about this move. Make sure you get study the rates and make that connection.
Also, if you're thinking about buying soon, you should reach out to a mortgage broker very early in the process, maybe even as soon as you start looking, because you want to double check your credit score. Credit score is really important, and frequently there are derogatory items on people's credit report that is really easy to resolve, but it just takes some time. So if you wait until you're making offers and then you realize that there's a derogatory item that's going to take 20 or 30 days to resolve, then you don't have enough time to do it. But if you start 3 or 6 months ahead of time, then it's really easy and there's plenty of time. And when you resolve those derogatory items, you can easily raise your credit score by numerous points. And so if you need any help with that, I can give you some good strategies as well. Of course, we don't charge for stuff, advice like that. And even you can do it yourself. You don't have to hire somebody to pay them to help you with your credit report in terms of removing derogatory items. It's super
Absolutely.
easy.
I think so. I think that would be a very good next segment, either bringing on a credit professional or a mortgage person that we can grill a little bit about what they see coming down the line in terms of
Great idea.
mortgage rates and or fixing people's credits before that happens. With that, I'm gonna flash up your fancy picture again, your contact information, where you can be found. You're sitting in Chappaqua right now, right? That's your main hub of business.
Yep, my main office is in Chappaqua.
And then you're managing all the other offices or assisting them from there. You visit them from time to time. How often do you set foot in all the different offices?
Yesterday I went to Stony Point. Monday morning I've got to go to Mamaroneck and to Ardsley. And so, I'm all over the place. But now a lot of times we have meetings on Zoom where people come and see me, or I meet with them by appointment in one office or another. So, but I'm always out about and around. So
Excellent. Very good.
easy to find me on my cell or email, and check the website grandluxrealty.com for more information. Of course, we're looking for more agents. We offer a fast and no fee route to 95% commission splits. We want you to keep more of your commission. And by the way, no fees, 0.
Yes.
So anyway, come to Grand Lux Realty and we'll keep more of your deals.
There you go. And I just put that up along the bottom of the screen there, 273-9688. And of course, Michael.Levy at grandluxrealty.com for an email as well. So we'll leave it right there. And of course, if anybody has any comments, this is streaming into Michael's socials, Home Search TV, as well as Greenwich Local. And if you have any questions or comments, you can put them below on these socials. We'll obviously be paying attention to that. And Michael will do it again, if not next week, right shortly after, and we'll get another guest for us to come on, and we'll have a good time doing it.
Thank you so much, Tim. Excellent job. Right. This was fantastic. What a great experience.
Very good. I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you.
See you later. Have a great day.